wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
None of your business.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Today, I want to talk about Denzel Washington. Yes, Denzel, the man that used to make a lot of women across the country sweat, giving his voice on politics. He's a little different than a lot of lefty Hollywood types. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, watch the video to the end. Now let's get into it. So I've been watching Denzel Washington, as all of you probably have, or most of you, for just about all of my life. His movies are legendary. He won Academy Awards for both Training Day and Glory. And he's had some very, very memorable moments. Very memorable moments in film, okay? He really, really has. But, you know, he's different than a lot of these Hollywood types because he speaks his mind. He doesn't go along with the narrative. He just doesn't go along with it. So let's just see what else Mr. Washington has to say.
What do you think about that?
I don't have to think about it. I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what? We're going to give up? If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're
Steven
in a space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
I got to talk about the hot comb. I'm sorry, y'all. Pause. Hot comb talk. Okay, you all know I wear my hair in a multitude of different ways. Okay, sometimes I get braids put in, and my actual hair is braided down underneath the braids. Somebody made a comment about my hairline one time under one of my videos, and I know that's a cultural thing. It's cultural. Like people, you know, sometimes people just don't know how Black people do their hair. Yes, we wash our hair. Yes, I get my hair washed. Not as often as my Caucasian sisters. We're all one race, right? But there are differences in hair texture. It's just 100% keeping it real with you. My hair when it gets wet, right? I don't put chemicals in my hair because they're dangerous. I used to get my hair chemically relaxed. But when you get hair wet, my hair is natural, but I do get it pressed. So when he said hot comb, that reminded me being a little girl in the kitchen with my mama, putting the hot comb on the stove, letting it get hot. And I had to sit there hoping she wouldn't burn me. And yes, I remember the smell. I remember the moment. I know all about it. I don't get the hot comb anymore. Now they've upgraded to the flat iron, but I still get my hair pressed. Otherwise, it would look like an afro. And I'm all right with an afro. I might get one. I want a big one like Thelma on Good Times. Rest in peace, John Amos. I want one of those real big ones. So I might do that and shock y'all. I might like, oh my goodness. But cultural, I pause to just bring up culture, because a lot of people were talking, you know, the left media, they always want to spew racist propaganda. When you complain about Haitians, they say, well, Haitians are Black. That's being racist. There's a cultural difference in how they live, okay? These people partake of different kinds of animals. They have a different religion. They drive crazy. They drive different than what we do. They don't speak English. I mean, this cultural difference. I mean, I'm Black just like they are, but I don't live like that. I don't worship the way they do. I've heard they practice voodoo. So I don't do that. Okay, so there is a cultural difference. The media wants to make everything about skin color, race, when it could just be a cultural difference. Okay, Denzel Washington brought up a good point. He's not for the victim mentality. I mean, if you work hard enough, there's not so much racism that you can't be what you want to be. You may have to work hard and persist, and you may not have come from a very ideal background, but a lot of white people didn't come from an ideal background. Look at J.D. Vance. His mother had an opioid addiction, which he talks about a lot. And he, during the debate, he said middle class. I said, he sound like Kamala Harris. He did it twice. I'm a middle class kid. But anyway, it's culture. It's just culture. That's it. It's just a cultural difference. And trying to have this victimhood mentality about, oh, woe is me and all of this, you just keep pressing. Keep pressing. Like I'm pressing on my channel because I was getting more than 10,000, 15,000 subscribers a month, and it slowed drastically down. And I guess it has to do with the election, I suppose, and I'm conservative and they're not really being fair. I need people to treat me right. Just treat me right, okay? So remember, I'm on my way to 100K subscribers. I need you all like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Always watch my videos to the end. But I just wanted to point that out about hot comb because it's a cultural difference. I do get my hair pressed, and every now and then with the flat iron, I'll get burned. So let me just stop ranting. Let's get back to the video.
So what is the long-term effect of too much information? The polarization of the electorate? A meaner spiritness?
False information as well, because the whole fake news thing.
Pick one. It's not just one. That's the flavor of the day. Every day is something else. People have to understand, are you using your device or is your device using you? Can you put it down? Can you turn it off?
You're talking about literally the places people get their information from.
I don't care what information. Pick one. Phone, television. You know, it used to be news. Now it's opinion news. Oh, glasses. We have 3 experts on the right, 3 on the left. Let's discuss. Ooh, light bulbs. We have 3 experts on the right. That's not news. That's opinion news. Well, over and over and over. Cycle. What is the long-term effect of too much information? If you're sitting there and you're thinking it's the gospel, what I'm saying to people is, to all of us, I'm not knocking the phone. What I'm saying is we have to understand, we have to at least ask ourselves around the world, you here in England, wherever you are, what is it doing to us? You know, I think this is what I think. I think we as Americans better learn to unite. I think we as Americans need to put our elected officials' feet to the fire and demand that they work together or they won't get back in office. You know, in this age we live in, this accelerated information age, we're getting further and further apart. We're not getting together. We're getting further and further and further apart. Everybody can't be right. I think it's more important to make headway in our own house. By the time the system comes into play, the damage is done. They're not locking up 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago. And we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, yeah, they're little yummies. I said, who? He said, little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy. Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
Yeah.
You know, like I did talk about my 3 closest friends, and they did, 15 to 25. One did 28, this and that. I was the only one of the 3 that had a father in my life, even though my parents were together. But I still had a father who was a gentle man and a good example. Yeah. And they didn't. We can blame the system if we want, but they didn't lock any of us up at 7.
Yeah.
We were all doing enough to get locked up at 13. My parents sent me in another direction. They didn't have anybody to help them, and they kept doing what they was doing, and the system got them. So
Denzel places the weight of responsibility not on systems or external forces, but on the foundation laid at home. This is a sharp critique of the current culture, which often focuses on blaming external systems.
We got to take responsibility, accountability. We got to do it. And Again, I hate to keep bringing up the Democrats, but they came up with this welfare state that took the father, the Black father, out of the home. And Black women, single mothers, became actually married to the government rather than to the fathers of their children. So therefore, they depended more on the government. And then you have this system put in place where it is increasing the amount of children born out of wedlock, who some of them don't even know their fathers. They simply do not even know their fathers. Like Denzel just gave the example. His father was in his life. He was a gentleman and he got steered in another direction. They didn't have their fathers like he did. So this is Democrat policies. This is on purpose. This is intentional. And we're still voting for these people. This is ridiculous. This is shame on us at this point. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting to get a different result. That makes a person an idiot. Okay, that is not smart. And I'm getting real rough here, but our Black folks need to get a clue, because these Democrats out here, they know to use color. They've been educating us in the public school system, controlling how we think anyway, so that we already are prepped to vote for them. And then they've gotten into the Black churches and encouraged the pastors of these churches to steer their congregations toward the Democrat Party. They've done this thing. It's called the Iron Triangle. Look up I will call him my friend, Vince Everett Ellison. One of these days I'll be on his show, but along with my friend April Chapman. But I desperately want us to understand the dynamics, the system that was put in place. And it primarily uses other Black people. You got the Black politician, the Black preacher, and the Black civil rights worker doing the work of racist white folks that are Democrats. Make that make sense. It sounds crazy, but truth is stranger than fiction. And I've said it over and over again. We need to really have an honest media in this country. We need to have politicians that work for the people, not the people working for the politicians. We need to do our due diligence as people and stop saying it's somebody else's fault for the bad decisions that we make. Yes, things were done to hurt people. Yes, they've been done, but we can get out of it. We just have to work extra hard. We got to embolden ourselves. We have to have knowledge. We have to reach across the aisle. And that's what I do like about Denzel Washington. He breaks the narrative. He's not this woke person. You know, of course he's in Hollywood, and you know, I got my issues with Hollywood. You know, the devil would. I got my issues with it. Yes, I do. Because I feel like the Democrats, the music industry, and Hollywood, the news media, the left-leaning news media are all in this thing together to misinform us and to make us be a certain way. And we got to remember that we need to be careful about what we see and hear. We have to be extremely careful with that, because it can really alter our soul. We have a soul, and we need to be careful. I'm serious. Even old music. Someone left a comment that they listen to old music. Some of the old music. You just got to be careful. You got to be spirit-led on all things, because the devil has been using media to control the masses. And I hate to say it, but we are maybe this close to being a totally communist country. This close. Not saying we are, but there are some ways that we seem a little communist, because you can't speak your free mind. You know, if you're conservative, then you get suppression, you get canceled. So it's really not, we're going down the wrong road. We are literally going down the wrong road. And I want your comments. I want you to remember to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget that I'm on my way to 100K subscribers. So I really need you all to share my videos. I do my videos at 4, 6, and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, month of October, this month is different, because I go to a Messianic synagogue, and there are a number of biblical holidays this month. Feast of Trumpets, which is tomorrow. So I will not be doing any videos tomorrow or any lives. Okay. And I just won't be doing that. And also we have Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. And also we have Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. So there's several biblical holidays. So if you're wondering why, Linda B, where are you? This is why, because I worship the biblical feasts. And I know a lot of people don't, not saying that you have to, but I do. And I don't work on those days. I'm trying to do better with that. Well, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America. And as I always say, march on, warriors.